Well, we have all these celebrations coming up. We have God's Day coming up, the holy birth of True Father and Jesus coming up. We have the blessing coming up.
Yes.
Right, we had the blessing coming up.
Yes. Festival of Grace.
Festival of Grace coming
Yes.
up. Now, there's a lot of confusion about the blessing. Okay. And it's not Tim's fault. It's not Richard's fault. It's not anybody's fault. Okay. When Father gave me these messages, then, and of course I was gone for the last month, and they had no place where they can clarify or ask questions of this because we were in the wilderness and or overseas. So, people were very confused. But everybody who comes to the blessing will receive the blessing that Father wanted to give. Okay. Of course, under True Father's authority and making that a foundation of faith by affirming that True Father is Lord's second advent. Hyungjin Moon is his heir and successor, and second king, and Shinjun is third king. Is this kind of thing, which has always been the standard previous to coming under Father's authority. Okay, but we have to understand the key of the blessing here that Father wanted to give at perfection stage level, or the final blessing he wanted to give, was between a perfected Adam and a perfected Eve. So the blessing is not even about you. It's not even about me. It's about Adam, perfected Adam, and perfected Eve. Okay, and I know the Asian folks and a lot of people get so nitpicky on status and stuff like that. This has nothing to do with the level, different levels that we were talking about. Has nothing to do with your level of salvation. My gosh, how unbiblical are you people? Salvation comes through faith, and then physical through lineage. Okay, faith and through lineage. That's why it's so important to come to this blessing, to receive this blessing, because this is the perfection level blessing the Father wanted to give through perfected Adam and a perfected Eve, a woman. So really, this blessing is centered on a woman. It's centered on, obviously, Father in heaven, His representative on earth, third king, three kingships. But the real highlight of the blessing is a woman, and that woman is True Mother Kong. She's a perfected True Mother. Okay, and it's in that blessing that we get to receive the blessing from perfect Adam and perfected Eve, and being grafted into the perfect Adam and perfected Eve, true parents at the perfection level. Okay, where you have an Eve that through the very difficult, very hard task and tribulation and test that she had to go through, did not betray True Father. Remained faithful from the very day she served him in 1940,
50,
early 50s, 52, to 92 years old. And even though all the political pressure went the other way, and Han Mother fell, and as she did, and now it's cursed Korea. I mean, the Kong True Mother stayed faithful. She did not betray Christ. So this is so important that we be engrafted and born again through her, and through obviously True Father in heaven, and three kingship, etc. United completely with the victory, now the victorious four-person foundation. Okay, so look, I know everybody likes to rag on Tim and Richard and Greg or whatever. It's not about you. It's not about Tim. It's not about Greg. It's not about any one of us. Okay, this is about Father's substantial, physical, and spiritual blessing. Father in heaven, three kingships on earth as his representatives, and the Holy True Mother, the woman, the True Mother position that has proven through the fire and through the difficulty, through the tribulation, that she is the true woman. She had no political benefit in not betraying her father and coming and serving the second king. No political benefit whatsoever. All she had was grief, mockery, and hatred that was spewed at her, at a 92-year-old woman, because she was faithful. And she was biblical and Christian. And she didn't want to give up on Christ. Take off on this relativism and this ridiculous idolatry of self-worship that the Han Mother is doing, proclaiming herself as God. And the Messiah, whatever. It's just absolutely insane. Absolutely zero biblical foundation. Long story short, it's not about your status. It's not about anything else like that. The blessing is about a woman. A true woman. That is giving the blessing with Father's heir and successor on earth, Father in heaven. This is Yongyuk Chukbok. This is the ultimate Yongyuk Chukbok. This is, which means the blessing of spirit world and physical world. Become one. You have his heir representative that did not betray him. You have the third king that shows the intergeneration transfer of True Father lineage, True Father's lineage, his culture, his civilization. Standing as one. One mission, one kingship. With the actual true mother. Who, through all the bitter trials and tribulation, did not betray True Father. Through all the mockery and hatred, and she was excommunicated. Lost all her friends that she actually witnessed to, or she ministered to, or she was actually the spiritual mother of, etc. Lost them all. We can celebrate having a holy, true mother again. We'll be receiving that blessing. That's why it's so important to receive that perfection level blessing. That's what Father wanted to give. Okay? So be wise. It will be wise of y'all, instead of being little babies, to see. There's a problem. If you don't have, see, I noticed yesterday during Sunday service, folks came up to me and asked me about this, and they said I didn't want to get in all these conclusions and jump into all these stupid things like immature babies. I wanted to ask you directly. They showed patience. They showed maturity. They showed reservation. They showed they actually trust Father's kingship, Father's selection, Father's second king. They trust me. Why? Because they have a relationship with me. Instead of going off in their little stupid rants, really what they're trying to do is hide behind the self-worship of themselves. They want to be the heir and successor, but they're unhappy about that internally. They probably even hated Father at many times, points of his ministry. And what's good about this whole time that I was gone, and I've reflected on it now, is that it created a lot of stress and stress, which is good, because it exposed who trusts, who has not only faith in Father, but has faith and trusts the second king. Shows very clearly who's ready to bitch and complain, and who's ready to wait a minute, no, he's going to have a reason for this, because they know me, they have a relationship with me. Not always trying to run away like little babies because they're too weak to go through the activities and training that we do. Little babies. Sometimes y'all are just little babies. Okay, not all of you, of course, but some of you. So it's good. It exposes you as being immature, distrustful, and involved in your own justifications of your own stupid mindset, which is basically bitching and complaining. And I bet you did this when Father was alive. I bet you. But you did it, you hid it by trying to say that's the Korean leaders of leadership, but you really actually were bitching about True Father. I bet you did that. I can almost guarantee it. So that exposes you. All right? The folks who came to me afterwards, they said, I didn't really want to get into this. People are trying to talk to me, people are trying to tell me this, that. And I said, you know what? I have a relationship with him directly. I train with the second king, so I'm going to ask him directly. Good for you. They withheld judgment. They showed maturity. They withheld judgment. They withheld bitch and complain, trying to go in the spiral of, jumping on with some of the, negative bozos. And now what happened? Now they're completely exposed. Now they look stupid. But the people who were mature and patient and waited and didn't jump on Tim's, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory with Tim and Greg. You idiots, give me a break. All they're doing is sharing what they heard from me. I love it how people want to clothe criticism in my staff, but really they're criticizing me. But they're trying to pretend that they're faithful and not disunited with me by just blaming my staff. I mean, it's so stupid, dude. Don't you see? I see through this crap. I don't want to say all of you have that intention, but some of you definitely do. I know, honestly, some of you actually, don't have that intention. But I know some of you absolutely do. Because you want to be the successor and you're not. You stupid idiots. I can see right through you, you stupid dummies. You're so pathetically low level, it's like ridiculous. And you want to pretend you're high level. You're just like little delusional martial artists who never ever got choked out, beat up by Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys or MMA guys. I mean, it's like, and you think you're so high level, like black belts in karate or something like that. Traditional karate. I mean, it's like so freaking low level, delusional. And you're always running away, because you know you'll be exposed. You know you'll be humbled. You're little freaking wimps. You're little beta male wimps, beta women, beta girl wimps. And the only way you can feel good about yourself is to try to criticize other people and pretend that you're faithful and to pretend you're united with the king and you're doing it for the king when you really want to worship yourself, you dumb idiots. It's so easy to see right through you. Don't you see? Don't you understand? I am high level. Do you understand that? Don't you see I can see right through your crap? Don't you realize Father chose me for a reason? Because I'm actually wiser than I look. I am actually much stronger than I look because I'm a very nice person. I mean, don't you people are so ridiculous, like little. Of course, not the majority of you are not like that at all. But the minority of you are freaking babies. And you think you're so intellectual and you think you're so justified. But everybody can see how pathetic you are. Grow up. Stop being like babies. These guys didn't even know the details of the blessing, okay, while I was away. They didn't know that I was going to officiate this with True Mother Kong. That's news to them. How can you blame them for something they didn't know? Give me a break. I mean, these people are so, some of these people are so pathetic because you're angry that Second King doesn't subjugate himself to you. Secretly, you want that. You want control of the Second King. And you're angry that Father chose somebody who has a direct relationship with Father, not some tangential. Is a direct successor. Is a direct son. Which you are not. Direct heir and representative. He who sees me sees the Father. Oh, we hate that because you want to be able to believe that you, when they say you, they see true Father. And if you're around true Father, you would be destroyed. He would lop your head off, literally. I mean, not literally, but you know what I mean. He would kick you out of his presence because you're so filled with your own hubris, arrogance, and self-worship. And really, in this jealousy game between the Korean leaders and all that, you're secretly so jealous that you would never be able to get near true Father. But yet you want to mask that and hide that by pretending that you're self-righteous, by making a big stink about them all the time. Meanwhile, you are secretly bitching about true Father as well. Oh, golly. So pathetic. Some of y'all are so pathetic. Don't associate yourself with pathetic people like that. You know what I mean? I mean, they're just gonna draw you away from the kingdom, especially how God is opening up the kingdom now. I mean, there's so many able-bodied people in the body of Christ now that are waking up. And you can tell there's people that rejoice when they see that and say, wow, that's great. The gospel of the kingdom is being preached, and the world is, those who are prepared are receiving it. And there's other ones that are jealous of that, angry at that. What? I thought it was only if the king subjugated himself to me, then should be successful. You hubristic pieces of trash. God is connected to all those people, and you can see those people, the folks in sanctuary are rejoicing because now they can talk to folks. They can understand the rod of iron. They can see that people are being freed and they're coming to God. Why is that an unhappy thing? Sure, they're not perfect, doesn't mean they're perfect. None of you are perfect. Doesn't mean they're perfect, doesn't mean that they may come in with certain weaknesses or habits or like that need to be overcome, just like everybody else. Sure. But anyways, I'm digressing. The point is, at the blessing, true Adam, true Eve, getting perfection, love, and blessing. Centered, really, the blessing this time is centered on a woman, a true woman, a true Eve, a true mother. Standing there honorable, not worshiping herself, but worshiping Christ and the Father. Standing there together in obedience because it gives joy to the Father. Standing there amidst all the mockery and hatred and skewering because she had love in her heart for the one who is worthy of all love. It's not you. It is Father. Okay? So Tim, Greg, and Richard, Lord, none of them even knew. Okay? None of them even knew that I had this in mind. To stop trying to use them as scapegoats for your own inadequacy and your own unfaithfulness and your own distrust of true Father. Stop using them as scapegoats. You blame yourself. You repent of your sins. You arrogant, hubristic, weak, pathetic cowards. And it's not even a lot of you. It's just a few of you. Little babies screaming, "Give me attention!" You're like little babies that want negative attention. You get off on negative attention because it's better than any attention at all. You see these kind of children? They want some type of children, so they'll cry a lot, or they'll purposely fall down or something like that. You know, it's like they're just craving negative attention because that's a skillful way that they found out that they can at least get some type of attention and stay somewhat relevant. So I don't see it as a bad intent because children do that a lot too, and it's not because they're evil. And I don't think the ones that are the very small minority that want to bitch and complain all the time and use the staff as scapegoats really for their own idolatry of wanting to subjugate the second king or have me follow them secretly, even though they're pathetic and weak. And they actually have no relationship with true Father whatsoever. That has all been exposed. That's been exposed. And that's why people are not listening to you anymore. And you know who you are. That's why people are not listening to you. That's why you've been fading away into irrelevancy, improvence. But meanwhile, you tell yourself, "Oh, no, I'm staying Raman because I'm doing this." You can read Hunuki all day. You know what? Guess what? Let me tell you. You can just spend time with your family all day. You know what family fraud does? They read Father's words every day. They spend time with their children every day. But they are separated from God. Don't be a Pharisee. You can't be running around teaching about lineage all day long and then talking about, oh, knowledge is it's only about the word. And it's only about my family. Father never said that. He said all prophets will always rotate around a vertical axis and a point on the earth. And it's not you. Okay, so Tim, none of the staff, nobody, none of them knew. Even the Queen didn't know. I just told True Mother Kong, day before yesterday, on Saturday, I believe. So she didn't even know, okay, that I was praying about these things. So you can act like big boys and girls and stop being little babies. You can trust your Father in heaven. You trust your Father's representative on earth, who is in the position of true Father on earth. Even though I'm not the true Father, he's in heaven and he's within me and providence, moving providence through me. Not because I chose it, because he chose me in 3 different ceremonies crowning me while he was on earth. And you don't get to choose, he gets to choose. You don't get to pretend that you love him when you hate him. Because I don't fit your little box, I am not controllable by you, and I don't subjugate myself to you because I don't have to. Do you understand? So that's what the blessing is, and everybody's going to receive that blessing. Everybody's going to receive the blessing at the perfection level. Now, what are the levels talking about? The levels are talking about the crowns and the rod of iron is the levels of our substantiation of faith and substantiation of substance. Okay? As now royal families. That's why they're required. That's why they're necessary. It's not only we're requesting, this is necessary. Do you understand? I'm not like these pathetic weak people who want to actually, be slave masters over you. Do you understand? I am the one who gives you the greatest gifts of kingship that Father didn't give you. He gave it to me. I'm the one who crowned you. Because I want you as a human being and those under Father's authority who love God, even though you're imperfect, and I'm imperfect too, but Father knows all that about all of us. That the love of God wishes for you to have all the gifts of his kingship and sovereignty. Which are represented physically, represented physically, not represented, represented physically by the crown, and of course biblically by the rod of iron, which is think about it, folks, it is one of the most difficult things to receive from authority, the rod of iron, in the world. One of the most coveted powers in the world, in the world today, you look at it, is the rod of iron. Governments will not give it to the people. America's the only exception, but it's quickly running away. And and as you can see, Americans will quickly degrade because of the democratic process, and people like Hillary Clinton and the radical leftists taking power and disarming people. I, as a second Chanigu of the kingdom of God, want so desperately for you to be a real king and queen and not play dress up. And some of you little secret tyrants, you little secret totalitarians, hate that. which is the reason why you bitch and complain about it, because you actually want to control people. You actually want to dominate and rule over people. And nitpick and tell them everything. You just look how you raise your children. Drive them freaking nuts. You're little tyrants. You're helicopter moms and dads, and you're little tyrants. You're secret closet tyrants. And if you had power, you would be tremendously tyrannical over time, I'm sure. Even though you claim you'll be so, I would be so much better than Tim Elder. I would be so much better than Greg and all these people. Always so corrupt, serving themselves. Why don't you start a ministry? Let's see how good it goes. I mean, some of you little babies are little freaking closet tyrants. And guess what? I can see right through you. Do you understand? I train a lot of people. I deal with a lot of different personalities. And anybody who's trained under me, know I'm an excellent instructor. I'm an excellent coach. I'm an excellent master. Sensei. Sensei. Sabam. I can see through your crap. And that's why you don't like training under me, because you know I can see right through your weakness and your pathetic narcissism. You see that? Can't play psychological games with me. I'm very high level psychologically. Can't do mind tricks on me. I know how to do mind tricks very well. I know the whole game. And it's not like I'm bragging. If you train under me, you will see that you will grow. You will not even know you're growing, but you'll grow. You'll look back on yourself a year or two later and you'll say, holy crap, I really changed a lot. How'd you? You won't, because I'm the type of instructor that I will train you, but you won't even know you're changing while you're changing. And actually, that's the best. That's what they say is the best. And you'll know that when you train under me, you'll know that I put you through stress and difficulty sometimes because it's for your benefit. It's not so I can get on some ego trip watching you suffer, you dumb idiot. Because I genuinely want to help you become a stronger male and a stronger female. I genuinely want you to be a stronger person. And if you trained under me and you trained with me, you would know that. That's why I was happy with Gideon. He came yesterday, talked to me, and he said, "I didn't want to talk to, people that were trying to say this or that to me, whatever." Because I just wanted to ask you directly. I said, "Yeah, because you have a relationship with Gideon. You train under me. You're my student. You know I'm not out there to hurt you. You know I'm not there to oppress you. You know the things I teach you empower you and make you stronger. You trust me. You know the things I teach you are real and they work." See, you have a relationship with me. And because you have a relationship with me, it's not a religion thing. It's a relationship thing. Whereas to many of these, small handful of bitching complainers, they don't have a real relationship. It's more of a religious thing for them. They're like little Pharisees. That's why they're like little Pharisees, bitching and complaining about everything. Nitpicking other people about everything. Every little sin, flaw that they see in them, and they can't even see the huge logs in their own freaking eyes. Oh, I almost said the F-bomb right there. You boys and girls, some of you boys and girls are just so pathetically You're like little diaper babies. You know what I'm saying? I gotta clean your freaking diapers. Little infants. You know I want to say it, DF, so bad. And you know your daddy can see right through your dumb ass. Right through it. Pathetic idiot. So, none of the staff knew this. Even the true Mother Kong was told a couple days ago. So all your bitching and complaining over the last 3 weeks of people who didn't know the details. Well, great job. You've shown yourself as stupid, complaining little children, little infants. And you've cut down your credibility even more. This is a nice thing about the Noontime Sun. People who are immature cut down their own credibility faster. They expose themselves to the whole world and to the whole community how pathetic they are. And by the way, to their own children, who in the end will become more mature than them and will laugh at them and say, you know what, you're not going to rule over me. You're a freaking child compared to me now. Unfortunately, that's what I saw happen. I saw that happen with my own brother. You know, Preston, he thought he was just like such high level when he was not. His immaturity is very low level, very diffident, very insecure person. But he comes across as a very confident person. When people see me, they saw the opposite. You know, I looked very insecure. I looked very quiet, very soft and gentle. But they didn't know inside I had lots of training. I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything, but I'm much stronger than I look. I'm soft outside. You know, but I'm much stronger inside. But I saw this happen. You know, I grew out of worshiping him. You know, after I was like in 18, 19. I mean, I was already more mature than him, emotionally and psychologically, and I was already much more mature than him. So all his little preaching, his talking about God meant nothing because I could see how immature he was. I could tell he was doing that just to keep me under control and power. And he wasn't there really trying to raise me up and make me stronger into a person which could be one day self-reliant and powerful for God. I mean, not filled with hubris, like some of these bozos. And self-worship. And I could see by the time I was in my early 20s, and I saw everybody, and he could only control young people who are still brain dead and dumb, like in their teens. And once they became like in their 20s, I mean, they all could see through it. And they all could see that this guy is actually quite insecure, actually quite unaccomplished in terms of his own demons that he had to fight himself, and that you really couldn't learn anything more from him. And I saw that happen with multiple members of my own family who fell in the same trap I did because we were, as a young teenager, we were bamboozled by his incredible charisma and his ostensible maturity, which was actually not high level at all. And don't you realize that when you're that immature, your children will surpass you? They will surpass you. They will see that you're immature and that you're, 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, and you're pathetically immature. That you have basically the maturity level of a 12-year-old boy or girl. I mean, don't you see your children will see that? Especially as they train on the second king. They are going to become more mature people. I mean, don't you understand this? Your level of maturity will be exposed by your own children who will not be subjugated by you and by your idol worship of yourself. Meanwhile, you try to pretend you're faithful to Father and the second king. When you're really worshiping yourself, don't you see your kids can see that? Don't you see how pathetic you are? Don't you see that you try to laugh it off, but really you know that these are stings to your heart because you know how fake and pathetic you are and how you've been running away? I mean, it's very easy for even kids that I've raised to see how pathetic you are. I mean, it's not even, the fact that you think you can hide this from me is a joke. But the reality is even kids that I've trained who are in their teens can see right through you dummies. And again, I'm not calling all you, the majority of you are much more mature than normal people. But some of you are absolutely less immature than that, even though you may be intellectually smart. And this is the problem. I've seen a lot of some of my sisters, very intellectually smart, very unwise, very immature. Intellect and how you're able to control young kids through your intellect because they're still not developed emotionally and psychologically mature is not a determining factor of how wise you are. Just because you can use your intellect as a type of charisma to influence people doesn't mean you're wise. So I can see a lot of the people want to bitch and complain. They're more like intellectuals. They're like, and guess what? Artists are, do you know like intellectuals are actually like artists? Artists who lean very left. Intellectuals too are actually more like artists. If you think about it. That's why a lot of them lean left. Not all of them, but a lot of them. They're scared of having physical contest and physically getting dominated. And I can see it. The ones that were ragging on your ashtrays to be training with us physically, because the kingdom will come physically. And you have to be physically prepared to defend yourself, your family. You have to be physically prepared to do things on this earth. People who run away from training all the time, I can see. They're more intellectuals. They're more artists. They're scared of physical contact. For whatever reason. It could be their dad. It could have been their experiences. It could have been they've been beaten up, bullied, which should be the reason why they should do this more, even more. I mean, I was bullied when I was a kid. That's why I got into this kind of combat arts. I didn't just try to run away into my little ghetto of art or my little ghetto of music or my little ghetto of something else. I did something about it. I was bullied, so I did something about it, and I would train with fighters and professionals so that I would become able to defend myself. Not trying to run away in my little, beta male and female little poetry or my little art. Give me a freaking break. When it's really cowardice. Scared of being dominated. Scared of getting what you want to do to other people, but you do it intellectually. You do it in sneaky ways. And you want to run away from it happening to you. So I see all these little babies. They'll make a big stink. They'll pretend they're tough. But when it comes down to their little pink, you know what? Little cowards. Pretending that they're alpha males and females, but they're little betas. Making a lot of noise, trying to pretend that they're alphas when they're little betas. Don't you see? Everybody now can start see through you. Don't you see that the Second King was trying to raise you up so you can be actually a mature person and you don't have to pretend to be strong? You can actually be strong. And I'm not talking about your little keyboard internet warrior. I'm talking about you a real warrior in a real warrior culture surrounded by real warriors, you little stupid coward. Zuh. You little freaking wimps. You want the benefits of Peaceably People Militia around you and all, but you are not willing to step up and do your duty as a king or queen to be involved in that. Making up all your little pathetic excuses, which everybody knows are fake. Even your own children know it. So, your babies are so freaking pathetic. You're fake. You're fakes. And you're getting exposed for being fakes. You love it when Father exposes other fakes around him, but you hate it when he exposes your fakery, don't you? You love it when the second king rags on Tim or Greg or Lourdes, but you hate it when the second king rags on your ashtray. You little baby. Little baby children. Infantile, puerile little children. Boy, you have something so bad coming for you in the future. And guess what? It's going to come from your own damn children. We're going to realize they'll surpass you at freaking 15 years old, 16 years old. They'll be surpassing you. And all that pretending that you're actually empowering your children, but really what you're doing is trying to rule over them totalitarian-like and control them, everything they do. Not really empowering them to be truly self-reliant. Not really empowering them to have a relationship with true fathers, direct lineage, heir, and successorship. Not empowering them, really, to be their own man and woman. And to be strong. I'm talking mentally strong, intellectually strong. I'm talking about physically strong. When somebody's assaulting you, it's not only mental and physical. John Danaher is one of the top MMA coaches. He trains George St. Pierre, who's a champion. He trains all the Danaher Death Squad killers, beasts in BJJ. Gary Tonin, Gordon Ryan, Eddie Cummings, all these dudes. The killers of BJJ. That literally rip people's legs off. They're known as the Danaher Death Squad because they kill black belts. I mean, every other major professional black belt, they just slaughter. You know what their master, John Danaher, says? He asks this question. If people say fighting is 90% mental, then why is the training 90% physical? You see that? If you think you're tough and you just think that's mental, why aren't you physically training with tough people? Because you're weak. You see that? You're like the one that wants to tell yourself that you're tough and that fighting is 90% mental when it's not. Defending yourself is not 90% mental. Yes, the mindset is a critical tool. But people downplay the physicality of confrontation and of violent force. There's a wonderful YouTube site that's called Active Self-Protection. And they show actual video footage of people being shot at, assaulted, knife stabbed, everything. And they show you that you need to have physicality and physical skills. Even when you're dealing with somebody who's shooting you or knife fighting you. And he shows many times it ends up in a wrestling match while you're being shot and stabbed. He shows the actual footage of people and then he comments on it. Physicality is absolutely important. And that's why, and this is what people don't, you will blame Christians all day for not understanding the physicality of the kingdom of God, right? Or what we call physical kingdom or physical salvation. Or even physical lineage. You'll bitch and complain all day about that, but then when it comes to it, you are the same way. You do not want to do the duties of the physical kingdom. Because you've been a little artsy little bitch your whole freaking life. And you've not been around real warriors who can kill you and show everybody around how weak you are. Not to just give you, but so that you're humble. So through realism about yourself, you learn in humility that you can become stronger, but you have to be around stronger people, not only who talk and who come across strong just because they speak in a certain way or act a certain way, but they're actually physically strong. Bet you've never been around the football gyms and the football and lifting with college football players, deadlifting and squatting 600 pounds. Bet you've never been around that. I have. Bet you've never been around people who break limbs, break knuckles, punch each other in the face, choke each other out. Bet you've never been around that. I have all my life. So even though I have a little baby face and I look really nice, and I am nice, I've been around fighters and killers my whole freaking life. You understand that? And that's why I can relate with people. I could be at a freaking, banquet that fathers, had, where I have to deal with top-level presidents and prime ministers. And then the next moment, I could deal with blue-collar folks and boxers and killing artists. Because I've had to be, obviously, in royalty. I've had to be around the upper echelons of things. When Father had banquets, I have to learn the etiquette and all this stuff and how to use your forks around your plate and all this crap. But I had chosen, at a young age, God gave me that desire. I had chosen to train with people who were fighting. I did not play little golf and little tennis and mess around in cars and fast. I was not interested in that. I was interested in protection. You understand? So I've trained with law enforcement guys who are all part of that dojo, those dojos. I've trained with army guys who've been part of those dojos. You understand? You have not. I've trained in football at a college level, in the gym with huge monsters squatting 600 pounds for reps. I was squatting around 500s, in the 500s. But these dudes were 600s. For reps. The bar is bending off. You understand? Bet you've never been around that. I bet when real physical guys came around and girls came around, you got scared and you tried to slip away into your own little artistic relevance and trying to tell, I'm really into that. I'm creative in another way. No, you're scared of that. And don't you know we can all see through you, because we know that now the Christian alpha males too are standing with us against totalitarianism. So don't you realize that you're little cowards running away all the time because you're really beta males and female? Don't you realize there's going to be more alpha males coming towards us? More alpha males uniting with us? And females? More awesome caliber men and women are going to be joining us? And of course, you do know that subconsciously. You know that. And you fear that. Because you'll be surrounded with even more stronger people, which will not allow you to pretend you're strong. Will expose you for your little weakness, your little bitchiness, your little pathetic mind trick games that you try to play on people. You're a little fraudster, and you know it, because you don't want more alpha males and females to come around, because they'll see how weak and they'll call you out on it. They're not scared of your little antics. In Korea, call it in your little nalichininga, your little explosions of emotion trying to pretend you're tough, but really you would just then run away. You'll never stand in real confrontation. Anyways, the point is, in a blessing, it will be centered on the true mother, with obviously true Father in heaven, who is officiating that with true Father's three kingship. And it's going to be incredibly beautiful. Okay, so everybody will receive that blessing, but the crowns are wrought of iron. Why are they a necessity? Why are they required? Why are there levels? Not to make you feel good. It is actually to make you feel bad. It's good that you feel bad if you're exposed. It's good for you to feel bad when you're a fake. It's good. When I see kids who are arrogant and they come in and get it beat up, it's good for them. It's a good thing. They thought they're so tough, badass, they get their ashtray killed. Then they actually get some realism. And then, of course, they think they can be, I'm creative, I'm so special. I'll be able to do this with my mind. I'll be able to do this and that. And the next time they come, they get killed again. And they realize, oh, crap, I can't do this. I can't just think of this. I can't just learn and watch YouTube videos and I'll be better right next week. And then they go through this process of realizing that they suck and that they're pathetic and that they're weak. And that's really good. Because every real man and woman and warrior has to go through that, realizing that they're pathetic and weak. And some of them will fade away and some of them will quit, which shows that they'll keep that mindset for the rest of life. And some of these older ones in the 50s and 60s, they still have this. Some minority of idiots still have this. While they pretend to be tough, which are not. But that realization of your patheticness and your weakness is wonderful. It's a great blessing. As long as you're able to stick with training, you will grow. You will become that badass person that you thought you were, but you weren't. But you won't be arrogant and narcissistic. You'll have humility, but you'll have realism too. You will be confident, but you will also be humble. You will know that you're not invincible. So all your little pretending that you're faithful and you're like united with the Sun King when you're really not and you're really doing self-worship, you know exactly what you've done. You know exactly that I can see right through you. You know exactly that you want the benefit of pretending that you're united. And that you're criticizing everybody here or everybody around me or everybody who I work with as, because you're doing it for me. You like telling yourself that. What I've been telling you directly, come train with me. Come train with me. I mean, some of you guys that are out there are such little beta male and female cucks. That's what you are. You're such pathetic little pussycats. Talking a big talk, pretending you're tough, and getting other dumb idiots to believe that you're tough when you're a freaking wimp, a little coward. And you're secretly very traitorous. Secretly, you have no problem backstabbing people while you morally posture and pretend that you're on the high ground and that you're doing it for the kingdom, and when you're really doing it to try to make a little worship of yourself. And get people to buy in a lie that you're actually an alpha when you're not. And when you're called on it, your little mouth goes in and you run away. Or maybe sometimes you'll rant and rave and then just run away in the same way. Either way, you're running away. And look, people who are real alpha, they confront you not because they want to hurt you, but because they want to help you understand that you can be better than this. You can be better than a faker. You can be better than a posturer. Real alpha people who are a sheepdog want to help you become stronger. And if you had a relationship with, and you actually knew me, and you through that knowing and learning under me and training with me, you would know that I teach you things not for your harm, but for your benefit. That I put you through stressful situations and dangerous situations, not for your harm, but for your benefit. Because I'm not some kind of secret closet tyrant. I want people to be strong and self-reliant. Which is the reason why you can see the Chinese Constitution and all the freedoms and protections that it affords. Why? Because I want so desperately to have those who are true believers in Christ to have the real gifts of kingship that he promised. Isn't it funny you have no problems with the crowns? Love that. But Rodham's like, oh, you got a problem with that? Oh, Rodhamine, okay. No, you have no problem with me talking about Rodhamine. But when I say you have to have it too, now you want to bitch and complain. Oh, it's indulgences when you get to keep the asset. I mean, how stupid are you? Do you see how stupid you are? Some of you guys. You're keeping the asset and you're saying it's indulgence. What the fuss are you talking about, you dumbass? I mean, some of you are just literally smoking crack from your ass. You got like a circulating straw that you're smoking your own crap. You're freaking nuts. No wonder you have no friends. No wonder you're isolated. No wonder your kids can see through you and think you're a little baby. Because you're pathetic. Don't you see that? Don't you see Satan wants to actually help you to become an actual man or a woman? And to become more alpha? Alpha, not, I'm not talking about arrogant like that, you know, maybe in the second role they call it alpha like that. I'm talking about alpha meaning trying to be a protector that is also humble before God and is realistic. Okay? So anyways, the point is, time is running, okay? So the point is, the blessing, people are going to receive the blessing that Father want to give, okay? But the levels are dealing with crown and rod of iron, exposing you or your nation. Some people in Asia and Japan, they're way stronger than you, right? Mentally, physically, internally, externally, whatever. But they can't get it legally, the rod of iron, right? So that's not exposing them. It's not lowering their salvation like some of you idiots try to interpret in your own ridiculous, pathetic way. It has nothing to do with salvation. Salvation comes by faith and by lineage, which everybody receives under true Father's authority, and in this upcoming blessing through the true perfected Adam and perfected Eve. True father, true mother. Being born again, so to speak, at that level. The levels they were talking about, and I don't think it was clarified in anybody's mind, okay? So don't blame them. Don't blame Team Elder. Don't blame Lourdes. They didn't even know. It was not in there. It wasn't in. It wasn't Richard parents. They don't. They were innocent. I did not explain all like this kind of depth to them. Okay. It's like my children, right? I remind them, children, sometimes you are very spoiled because daddy tells you 1 week in advance that we have this or that. I tell you, I remind you, I mentally prepare you that we have this thing. Remember, Friday is Bushcraft Day, Friday's Bushcraft. Tell them days before, and then a couple of days before, and then and I tell them, kids, you have to understand, you're very spoiled. I never got that. Never. Father said, go, and we said, go, we go. Whether we like it or not. And of course, I don't do that to my kids a lot. But sometimes as parents, there are times where you say, hey, we got to do this. And, oh, you didn't tell me in advance. Oh, no. You have to remind them. No. See that? Don't be spoiled. Daddy never got any reminders or warnings about what I have to do or what Father would order me to do. And yes, idiots, fathers also give orders too. So it's like the same thing. I mean, I'm using that example because it's the same thing. I didn't explain point by point to all of you. And so you're bitching and complaining. You want to blame this person. You want to blame your brother. Blame your sister. Who are all in Father's authority, by the way, you dummies. And they don't even know everything about it. I didn't tell everything about that. Because something should wait. And then you're like the little spoilers. Like, why didn't you tell me in advance? Why didn't you tell me in advance? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's like little babies. But the majority of your brothers and sisters are understanding. Okay, and they're okay. I know, true Father. I know His representative heir. I trust His decision. I know, and I've seen what the second king has done. I've seen the process He's had to walk. I've seen what He had to do. So He must have a reason for that. So I'm going to wait until He comes back. Or there's going to be a reason beyond that I can understand at this exact moment. So I'm just going to be patient. Instead of being a little infant, I don't understand, I just better explanation now, do something about it now. I mean, you're like little children. Do you expect your children to actually respect you? Beyond their teens and maybe early 20s, they're going to see right through you as they get into their mid-20s and 30s. They're going to see you're a little baby. What the hell are you going to do then? They're going to see everything you do has failed. Everything you've done. You're not able to deal with high-level people. You're not able to actually change society. You're a little baby, narcissistically rolling around in your own feces and crap, meanwhile justifying and telling yourself that you're doing it because you're so beautiful and great. Don't you see? When people who are alphas, males and females, see that, we want to help you get out of that delusional realm. But you have to go through a humbling process. You will be destroyed. You will be beaten up. You will be dominated by kids much less than you. You will have your ego checked. But it's going to be great for you. And I tell you all the time, don't worry, you're not going to get hurt. If I want to hurt you, I can hurt you so easily. It's not even funny. Do you understand? But you know that when you train with me, I will not hurt you. Even though I can hurt you very much. I will not have harm purposely done to you because I actually care for you, you dumbasses. And I want you to actually become better, stronger people for God. And stop being these little pretenders that you really, in the end, know that you are. Which is the reason why you have to double down and try to even go bigger, because you really know you're pretending. So the levels of kings and crown and rod of iron have to deal with the level of our environment that we're in. It exposes the nation that we're in, that it's still political Satanism, okay? It condemns a nation. It doesn't condemn you as being a lower class citizen, or you're stratified, or you have a lesser salvation. I mean, okay, I'm not even getting, you heard me say it a billion times. I'm not going to get into it, okay? About saying how stupid and pathetic you guys are. I mean, some of you are. I've done that already 15 times in this broadcast. And it's funny how, narcissists, you tell them that, they may acknowledge for a second, but the second you tell them something else, they've forgotten it already. And you have to almost repeat it again. It's like so pathetic. Because they're in this constant mode of trying to constantly self-justify themselves. And they've grown these habits that whenever somebody actually brings realism to them, they'll feel it, they'll get scared of it, but then they'll start talking to themselves again. Oh, no, I'm okay. No. And so literally you can see it as soon as you jump to one other topic, and you have to come back to that again and remind them again, you're pathetic, you're weak, you're stupid, you're delusional. It's so sad to see this. But that's where you're at. It doesn't determine salvation. The rod of iron and the crown are not to be worshipped. They are accoutrements that are given to us by the King of Kings. And so as family of royalty and as royal lines, though it's our duty to protect those gifts and to have those gifts, you dumbasses. So it is extremely insulting, of course. Okay, yeah. There's clarification now. You can come to the blessing, you will still receive the perfection of the blessing. And even if you can't own a rod of iron, or you don't have a crown, you can't have a crown, you will still receive the perfection blessing. But the fact that you don't have kingly crown and rod of iron is gravely insulting before True Father and the altar of God and the nation of China, in the kingdom of China. It's incredibly insulting that you did not prepare that. It's incredibly insulting to the Father who's giving you the blessing. And the mother is standing there and got skewered for you to get the blessing. It's incredibly insulting. It's going beyond unetiquette. To show up there with the hubris and arrogance of wanting all the benefits of royalty without doing the duties of it. It's extremely insulting. In the Bible, for example, Jesus talked about at the banquet, in one of his parables, the banquet, he who is not even dressed for the banquet will be chased out. It's extremely insulting to not have a crown and rod of iron. So yes, you can receive the blessing, but at the same time, you're spitting on true parents. And say, do it for me. I don't need to do it. I don't have duty. You're a piece of shish. You're a piece of arrogant flesh, arrogant, hubristic shish. So are there levels? Yes, there's levels of attendance. Yes, there's levels of respect that you pay to the King of Kings as he gives you the actual most precious accoutrements of his kingdom, the crown of the rod of iron. Yeah, you don't just receive those things and receive the blessing and just spit them and toss it away. Or show up at a blessing where he says, bring it, and not do it. Okay, yeah, you may be able to sit in the back and receive the blessing like a little punk that you are, an ungrateful piece of shish that you are. But everybody will see you, Spirit will see you, your ancestors will see you, and you'll know that you're a piece of crap. And yeah, your father will still have let you into that banquet, but he'll know, he'll have a bad feeling about you because you've insulted him. Just like any father will have a bad feeling about that child that will go to them, grow with them if they say we're going to go this way, but grudging, but they're bitching, complaining all the time. You know, if you're a parent. So is it a, will you go to hell? Will you lose salvation if you don't bring a crown of rod around? No. Will you be a bitch if you don't? Yes. And you can? Yes. Will you be an ass? Yes. Will you be ungrateful, disrespectful, hubristic, arrogant shish that thinks you deserve that kind of blessing and kingship? Yes. That's why bring your fucking rod of iron and your freaking crown. Obviously do it legally. Because that's how you show respect to the King of Kings and his kingdom. The accoutrements that he's given you. You show respect by honoring what he's given you. And demonstrating publicly in front of him that, yes, Father, I have this, I'm protecting it, I'm preserving it, I'm taking care of it. Don't you know that when you give something to your child and they take care of that item, even if it's a car or even if it's a whatever, it's a little computer, you're happy they're taking care of it. Isn't that true? So when you come to the blessing, you bring what true Father through the second king and three kings I've given you, which is your crown, which you should be taken care of, and your rod of iron, which you should be taken care of, because they've been given to you through that line. And then, of course, have compassion for the brothers and sisters who are in nations where they can't have that, and help them and donate to the Korean church, or go help them in their conferences that are coming up in Japan. Help them so that they can fight for rod of iron ownership and gun rights in their respective countries, which we'll be fighting for probably 2018. We'll be, doing those different things around the world, fighting for worldwide human rights. The right to protect and keep and bear arms. Because that is a right of all kings and queens. Chuningo girls are deadly too. That's why we have, people look. We have two heirs. One is daddy's, one is mommy's. One is daddy's, one is mommy's. Centered on the three kingships, kings and queens. So, can you come to the blessing and receive the perfection stage? The final blessing Father wanted to give through the true Mother Kong and the three kingships? Yes. Can you receive that without bringing the rod of iron and crowns if you're in the position to have the rod of iron and crowns? Yes, but if you do, you're a dumb-ass bitch! Because you're showing tremendous disrespect and spite for those who bled and died for you to give you that. You're a piece of crap. idolatrous, self-worshipping piece of shit. Disrespectful, dishonorable, selfish craphead. And even though I pretend you're perfect without sin, you have tons of sin. So is it important to bring your crown and your rod of iron? Absolutely. Do royal families have decorum, and do royal families have requirements and duties? Yes. Do royal families and sons and daughters of royal families have a duty to learn martial arts and martial combat and peaceably people training? Yes. Every even satanic king trains his sons and daughters in the arts of the sword or whatever it was in the past. The modern day is a rifle. Of course. If you're not participating in these trainings, can you still have salvation? Yes. But are you a punk ass wimp? Yes. Are you a little punk who's receiving all the blessings of the kingdom, but not doing your 5% and doing your duty in the kingdom? Yes. Do you think the kids that bust their ass every freaking week, the training with me, do you think they like it every freaking time? Do you think they emotionally are happy to come every time? I know they go through depression fits all the freaking time. They don't want to come to training sometimes. But they get up their fat asses and they come to freaking training. Because they're actually mentally stronger than you. Little wimps who don't do it, even though you know you should. How pathetic are you? Your dang wife and your kids train, and you are still running around like a little bitch. Making these stupid excuses. Don't you see, they all see that you're scared and you're a little wimp? You're a little beta who pretends to be an alpha. You see, when I see pathetic idiots like you, I actually want to help you. Maybe it's because I'm a nice person. But I actually want to help people who are pathetic like you. Because you'll be so much happier. You won't live in this constant fear cycle of alphas around you makes you scared. And the only way you can do that is try to use your little internet or your little stupid internet keyboard to try to fend them off. And you're protecting yourself. No, you're protecting your narcissism. You're protecting yourself from being exposed. That's all you're doing. You're just kicking the can down the line because one day your kids will expose you. They will challenge you. They'll beat your ass up. Or they'll show you how freaking weak you are. Don't you realize that? Don't you realize a fakery, it has an end date? Don't you realize you're pretending to be tough, but you won't even be around tough people and train with tough people? And now these young kids, 15, 16-year-old kids that are way tougher than you, way more mature than you, they may not be able to articulate like you and trick people with nice put-together sentences. They may not have those articulation skills, but they're already physically, psychologically, emotionally more mature than you. Don't you realize that you only, as time goes, you'll be even more exposed as you run away like the little bitch that you are? Or bitches that you are? All the little tough guy and tough girl antics you try to pretend to do. all the pretend loyalty and the pretend unity you have with the King and true Father, that's bullshit. It's already 6:30. Little babies make me rant for a freaking hour and a half. And we got a guest coming on 7 or 7:30. Why do you make the representative, heir, and successor and representative body of your daddy do this to you? Little babies. No wonder Father was so frustrated with you dumbasses. And why you ran away to different places. Anyways, the point is, everybody who comes to blessing will receive the blessing that Father want to give. True Adam, true Eve. 3 kingships. Horizontal, vertical. All there. 4% run to there. Intergenerational. Forbidden foundation and 3 kingships. Okay? Now, that being said, stop trying to water it down. Are the crowns and rods of iron required? Yes! Do they have an impact? Are they the determining factor of your salvation? We have a lower salvation level. No. Because of that. If you don't have it. No, you dumbasses. But are they required? Yes. As what? As the respect, gratitude, accoutrements, and decorum that you are required and expected to have as kings and queens. Biblically. Father says, all the gifts that I've given you to us, for example, all the gifts, I want all the true children to bring all the gifts that they've had, that I've given to them, and show me so I can see them. And I show up there, or one of the true children show up there, not bring their gift, just stand, just hang around. What do you think Father's going to do then? Let me ask you this. Do you think he'll be happy and proud of them? Or do you think he'll be disappointed? And his heart will stray away from them. Will be further from them. Will trust them less. Don't come to just receive a blessing and hang around. You come to do your duty to your father, for your father. Is that honorable, doing your duty for your father and your nation? Yes, it is. Is that an honorable thing to do? Oh, it's about duty. That's because you're a little bitch. And you don't want to be accountable and have responsibility. And you don't want to be exposed to the weakling that you are. Can a true child boast in front of God? I'm just born. I have a lineage. I'm just born. And so I'm valuable. Yeah, in some respect, that's true. But will you really be respected by the true parents and by true father? No. Will he smack you in the face? Yes. Oh, yeah. This is a nice thing about those kind of pathetic imbeciles. They're so freaking weak, they don't even realize it. Their kids are going to grow more mature than them, and then the kids are going to do exactly what they tried so desperately not to have them do, which is what? Become alphas and school that beta dad and mom. Or mom. it's not going to be a nice thing. Because, let me tell you something. It's much easier to get that training from the second king than having to go through it with your child. Because, you're talking about not being able to run away. You're talking about not being able to be completely shattered. Better to have the second king do that for you so you can be actually higher level than your children. Because you will be crushed when they have to call you out. It'll be a sad day. Very sad day. But you deserve it. So I've spoken enough about it. It's already an hour and a half. Everybody should understand, and there should be clarification. There shouldn't even be necessary to send another stupid memo. It's clarified. If you really care about all the brothers and sisters, they're going to be stratified. If you care so much, you should be able to watch an hour and a half. If you're so vigilant, you're so vigilant. You're so honorable. Yes, you're so vigilant. If you're so vigilant, you should be able to watch an hour and a half. Now your ashtray is being called. All your little pretending, you better watch the hour and a half. And there's no confusion. Nobody's confused. If you're confused after this, you're the one who's making up delusions in your mind. Okay? So stop being little bitches and babies. Stop making your daddy's life harder. Stop ragging at, your daddy as I have to walk a wilderness course. And I'm in the position of your daddy, not because I name myself to be, but because true Father put me there. The position of your daddy on physical earth, because he knows if there's none of that, you'll worship yourself because you're an imbecile and you're weak. And it's not all of you, it's just a minority of you that are super narcissists. And if you didn't have the Chinese Constitution, you would be super predators too. Thank God you're getting all the sheepdogs surrounding you and coming to the community, stronger and stronger sheepdog. Because now they can see right through you more and more. So hurry up and become a sheepdog that hangs and trains with real sheepdog. Okay? So everything should be clear. It should be crystal clear why it's required to bring crown, rod of iron. Why there's levels. Yes, there's levels. White belt, blue belt, purple belt. Levels, you dumbass. It doesn't mean a purple belt has more salvation than you stupid idiots. Not everybody gets a trophy. You hate that when it happens in a public school, but yet you have the same freaking mindset. By God's grace, everybody can receive the final blessing Father want to give through the perfected Adam and perfected Eve and his vertical lineage through time and his successorship through time, kingship through time. Yes, that's true. But now your level of attendance, your level of seriousness, your level of uniting with that blessing, obeying the wish of your Father. Well, not only wish, obeying the command of your Father, you dumbasses, you stupid Westerners. Want to believe that dads can't give you commands, you pieces of shish! What the hell do you think our Heavenly Father does? Gives us the 10 commandments, or Jesus the commandments, condensed commandments. You don't have a choice if you love your father. Dumbass. Talking about only masters give slaves commandments, you pieces of shish. No, they don't. Fathers also give commandments too. But they do it because it's good for you and because it will make you become an alpha and start pretending and being a fraud and imposter because you're such a fushing beta male or girl. So now everybody should understand. Blessing situation. People should stop bitching about Tim and Greg and Lourdes or whatever. People who are working their ashes off to freaking prepare this ceremony. You think they want to do the damn ceremony? This is something that's mandated by a true father. Dumbasses. Why the hell do I gotta talk to you like this? Like little babies. And it's not even all of you. This is what's so frustrating. It's not even all of you. But it's just like that situation in the family where there's one child that is stupid and father has to reprimand and chastise all the children for the sake of that one child together. So even the children who are more mature still get yelled at, albeit tangentially and indirectly, but still they have to hear it because that stupid bozo there is not. You know what I'm saying? It's like, golly, I mean, how old are you, some of you babies? You can't run away, don't you understand? You can't be an imposter anymore. You got to be real. You're a wimp, you're a coward, you're weak, you're pathetic, you like to self-worship yourself. I understand that. It's totally exposed. So just admit it. And grow. Stop running away and being a little coward and little bitch. And come train. Become stronger because your kids are already surpassing you. The young people in this community are already surpassing you. You're not going to be able to control them like little slaves. They're already surpassing you. They're already becoming more alpha than you. And doesn't mean, and look at them. They're not becoming more arrogant, more hubris. They're not. They're becoming more realistic, more humble, more wonderful people. So when we see imposters like you are faking it, but we still love you because some of you did play a part. We don't want you to fade away and be forever separated and destroy your own family, which you will do. You're going to drive your own children and your own families nuts. We don't want to see that happen. Which is the reason why we're patient with you and we are loving to you. And which is the reason why when you come training, the very few times that you actually mustered up enough courage to do something, stop making little bitch-ass excuses. Nobody hurt you. You know who your dumbass is. Soggy nom sicky. Nobody hurts you because people know how weak you are, you dumb idiot. And our kids in this training with the Second King, they're getting stronger for real, not for fake, not for talk, for real. And guess what? You can't trick people that are getting stronger like that. And they won't worship you because they'll be able to see your level very quickly and realize that you're actually very weak and cowardly. Kids who train with me don't respect me just because I'm charismatic or I'm a fun teacher. Like that. They respect me because they know I can do what I say I can do. At least to them. There's some high-level guys that I cannot do. And I would not claim to be able to do that to them. But the higher level echelons of real combat arts, tremendous humility, tremendous respect for one another. Tremendous. It's funny how people who are not part of that kind of warrior brotherhood in the real way, just want to talk smack all the time. Want to talk like they're united with the second king. Oh, I'm doing it for him. Talk. You little bitches. That's all you are. You little bitches. You little bitch-ass bitches. Why do I have to talk to you like this? To wake your ass up. I know the whole freaking world. I know the freaking New York Times and SPLC is watching these broadcasts. Look how Reverend Moon talks to some of his followers. I don't give a crap about that stupid public opinion, though. Because I actually care about you, you dumbass. Because Father put me in the position of his representative, and that is true Father's representative on earth. So I have to tell you what nobody tells you. And I'm not supposed to be a glitbug minister telling you and just stroking your ego and making you worship yourself. I'm supposed to tell you what the Father is telling you, dumbass. That you're a fucking dumb ass, bitch. Doesn't matter at times you think you can laugh it off. You are a dumbass bitch. And that's all you're going to be. And your kids can see right through it. So, do I desperately want the body of Christ to become kings and queens? That's why we want not only for you to receive true Father's blessing, which I am the only one who can give on this earth, of course with the true Mother. Do you understand that no one else can give Father's blessing but through me? And I'm not saying that out of bragging. I'm just stating the truth. And if you're such a fake, arrogant thief that you're willing to come just to receive that so you can say you got it, but yet not do the duties of royalty. And it's not even duties that are even harming you, dumbass, selfish pieces of shit. Duties like having a crown and having a rod of iron. How is that harming you, you stupid ass? Is that making a socialist nation a communist nation? No! Is it empowering individual citizens to come into kingship and understand our ownership and sovereignty? Yes! So how is that even bad? It's not even for your freaking harm, you dumbass! All these freaking bitches, my God. Want to bitch and complain about everything. Have no sense of moral duty and moral accountability and responsibility. Just want to receive a blessing and have some status. What the fuck is wrong with you idiots? I didn't receive a growth stage, but I received a perfection stage blessing. All you care about status then. You're not thinking about your duties to the Father who art in heaven. You think Father chose me because I had that kind of attitude? If I was a total commie but I hadn't fallen, do you think he'd choose me? If I didn't represent also his civilization, his culture? Do you distrust and hate him that much? Yes, you do. Because it exposes the fact that you actually hate Father for choosing me instead of you in your own narcissistic bubble. But meanwhile, you have to try to pretend that you love Father and you pretend you're united with the King because if you do, then if you don't, your kids are going to see right through you. So you're going to do it in this way. You're going to use your justification to do it this way. Or you're going to blame it on Tim. Or you're going to blame it on Lourdes or Greg. Give me a... Oh, man, I want to drop that so bad. You idiots are pathetic. You're little children who don't ever... Do you deserve the blessing the true Father is giving through the second king? No, we don't. Through the second king? No. Will you be able to receive it? Yes. But you better come doing your duty with your crown and your rod of iron, you lazy piece of shish. Because if you don't, you'll be directly insulting me and my Father, who bled and died to give you this stupid piece of shish. Clear?
Yes. Thank you.
Stop bitching and whining like little babies. And do your damn job. Golly. Little children. Waste freaking 2 hours of the broadcast for that. All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Babies!